welcome to video 2 of a series, 5-video series of a missionary and evangelistic parish. I'm Father Damien Ryan, I'm parish priest here of Our Lady of the Holy Souls in Kensal Newtown. Thank you for joining. So the first video was about how the church, there's a crisis because the church has forgotten her missionary and evangelistic identity. Based on Jesus' words, go therefore make disciples. We've kind of forgotten really how to do it. So this second video is going to speak about how the church, especially in regards to the recent popes, actually talk about the church as missionary and evangelistic. The reason why they do, I believe, is because there's been a huge change in society that's been bubbling, especially in the last 50 years. Because for 750 years, Europe has been largely Christian. So it was in this context where Europeans went to evangelize the rest of the world. But for the first time in centuries, England is mission territory. England is the place where people from other parts of the world are coming to evangelize. And we know this is true because this is actually happening. And in the last census in 2021, it showed that for the first time, under 50% of people in the UK define themselves as Christian. So UK is not a Christian society. Christian attitudes and behaviours, for example, around family life, around the felt need to really to belong to a church, it's changed dramatically, just in a very short space of time, in fact. And parishes haven't yet adapted to this reality of this change of society. And every pope for the last 50 years has been encouraging parishes to be more evangelistic, to be more missionary. In other words, to help people encounter Jesus more and to be more invitational. So Pope John XXIII, he started the Second Vatican Council, the huge gathering of bishops and church leaders. At the very start, he said the Second Vatican Council's principal task will be concerned with the modernization, aggiornamento, of the church after 20 centuries of life. Not the modernization of the teaching, the modernization of the method. And then after John XXIII, Paul VI followed it on. He said the church, in fact, exists to evangelize. The church exists to help people encounter Jesus. St. John Paul II said, the moment has actually come to commit all of the church's energies to a new evangelization. So a new way of proclaiming and helping people to encounter Jesus. And he said, this has to be new in its ardor, new in its methods, new in its expression. And then Pope Benedict XVI said, we're searching for a new evangelization. We're searching for a new way to tell people about Jesus, to help them encounter Jesus. And he said that evangelization is a personal encounter with Christ. And then Pope Francis said an amazing thing. He said, I dream of a missionary option. He said, that is a missionary impulse that's capable of transforming everything that a parish does, so that the churches and parishes' customs, ways of doing things, times and schedules, language and structures can be suitably channeled for the evangelization of today's world, that's helping people to encounter Jesus, rather than for her self-preservation. For Pope Francis, he believes that many parishes across the West are just trying to preserve a model that is not helping people to encounter Jesus. And then the Catechism of the Catholic Church in 1072 said, the sacred liturgy, even the Mass itself, it has to be preceded by evangelization, faith, and conversion. So before you invite someone to Mass, they need to go through a process of hearing about Jesus, coming to faith in Jesus, and having their lives transformed by Jesus. And a recent document called the Pastoral Conversion of the Parish, which is a very unique document, says the mission work of the parish is not just a responsibility of the hierarchy, few, but it's the whole community, you. So the parish priest, my responsibility, is responsible for keeping this dynamic alive so that the baptized, you, realize that they are the protagonists of evangelization. In other words, you are the key, you are the leaders when it comes to talking about Jesus, helping people to encounter Jesus. So the true meaning of being a Catholic in a parish, according to the popes and the teaching of the church, is about a commitment to a process and culture of evangelization and invitation. And just for example, we have done amazingly lots of, we've had a few tables, few groups of people doing Alpha. And Alpha is a tool of evangelization that is already working here. People's lives are changing. And it can change a parish culture, whole parish culture, to one that's even more Jesus-centered than we already are, and one that's even more invitational than we already are. Now you might be thinking, well, is that it? Or what does this really mean in theory and practice? So the next video will look at 5 elements of what a Catholic parish is called to do.